This week, we get really pumped about the new Agatha All Along series. We get excited about watching The Penguin on Max. And we check out some crazy things happening in a galaxy far, far away with Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. Welcome to the Infinite Taylorverse.
Warning.
Red alert.
Ay, 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 ay!
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
That's the emergency alert. This episode is full of spoilers for some of the latest and greatest nerdy movies and shows.
Spoilers.
Listener discretion is advised.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Infinite Taylorverse podcast. I'm Billy Taylor.
And I'm Taylor Oxner.
And this week, we are coming back to you guys to talk about a lot of fun stuff going on out there. But before we jump into that, Taylor, what have you been nerding out about this week, man?
So I started reading, and I know I'm way behind, but Dark Knight's Metal.
Ooh, nice.
I'm like halfway through it. Everything looks hopeless and bleak. You know what? It's very Silver Age.
Yeah. I
Like,
guess
there's a lot of really bizarrely goofy stuff in it.
yeah.
Like all the metals, like the whole play on words that it's about all the different metals, but it's like also like metal. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I kind of dig that, but at the same time, some of it's really heavy-handed. I'm like, which I don't necessarily love. That like, there's like a scene where like Robin, Damien, and John Kent are like playing guitar in like a field in Smallville, and like Wonder Woman and Bruce and all them are there watching. And it's just really like, I don't know if the word's heavy-handed or not, but like my one critique of this book is that some of the stuff is just a little too phoned in with the double entendre of that word.
Yeah.
But everything else so far I've loved. So like I have all of the like side issue tie-ins as well.
Uh-huh.
So I'm reading the whole event at one time in chronological order.
Oh, nice.
So like I'm only on Dark Knight's Metal like 3 or 4, but I've already read like 12 books.
Gotcha.
So like they have all the ones that are like introduce each of the Dark Knights, like the different Bruce Waynes of the Dark Universe multiverse. And each one of those is one book by itself. And then there's the Metal main books, and then there were 2 prologue books. Did you know that?
I guess I didn't know that.
So there's one where it's actually they both like just basically one of them's called the Forge and one of them's called the Casting.
Okay.
And one of them basically sets everything up, which they could have just renamed these Dark Knight's Metal 1 and 2 or 0 and 1.
Yeah.
And then moved all the numbers order. I don't know why. And then I just read one called Batman Lost.
Okay.
That's like it's Bruce, and he's like he's lost in this multiverse, and he's reading a story to his granddaughter, and you can tell that like his granddaughter is very malevolent, like evil, and like she's keeping him like back on track of telling the story that he's even in his head he's like, this doesn't make sense, this is not how this happened, and stuff like this. So it's been overall the read's been really good. The only character that I'm disappointed with is the Dawnbreaker character.
Okay.
It's the lantern, the evil lantern.
Yep.
And really, it's because he's kind of sniveling, but like it's weird because it's like supposed to be like Bruce.
Yeah.
And so that's weird. And also, like, I hate the fact that like there's this tie-in where Hal the whole time is like in Brightest Day, and Blight is like this huge thing, and you're gonna think Hal's gonna win, and the very end, Dawnbreaker just kind of destroys him with like one thing, and it's like kind of, I don't know. I really felt like that should have been opposite. Like the Red Death guy and the Flash stuff's been kind of awesome though. Like that character is really like a really like unhinged version of Bruce that I like really like. I like the Batman Who Laughs, which I thought that character was going to be too like edgelordy.
Yeah.
Just because of the way he looks, but it works for the story.
Oh, good.
So,
yeah, I feel like I know a lot about those books, but I haven't read them yet, so I should probably pick those up too at some point.
So also they could have just called this like another Crisis book.
Yeah.
Legitimately could have been it could have been called Dark Crisis.
Ooh, They should have called it
um,
that.
because that's what it is. And I think DC has this weird thing now that they said the word Final Crisis. It's like they can't use the word
Yeah.
since then, but we've had like other events since then that have been like crisis esque.
Yeah.
Like, what was the one? Convergence. That's a crisis.
Yeah.
It's a really crappy one, but I mean, it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that's my nerding out for the week. I'm loving it and it's fun.
That's awesome. Well, my nerding out this week has to do with Emily and the kids and I got to go see Transformers 1, a pre-screening of it. And I went into it thinking, oh, it's going to be a kids movie and it's probably going to be good for a kids movie. But I'm not going to lie, I left feeling like this might be my favorite Transformers movie of all time. And I'm not even exaggerating. And it's funny because, I don't really always align with the online stats and the rankings and all that stuff, but Rotten Tomatoes has given it the highest ranking of any Transformers movie, even the original cartoon or anything. It has like a 92 or 93%, I think. And it's one of those things where I would 100% go see it again. That's how good it was. And the big thing that I was going into it thinking I'm not going to like about it was the fact that it's not Peter Cullen. There's no Peter Cullen voice. It's Chris Hemsworth is Optimus, or throughout the movie he's Orion Pax because this is a prequel. But
Yeah.
I even have to say I got used to the voices, and at the very, very, very end, no spoilers for me or anything, but we all know he becomes Optimus Prime. Like everyone knows that, and
Yeah.
um, even his voice just sounds way more Optimus Prime-ish at the end of the movie, and I have to say I really liked it.
Yeah, I'm seeing it Saturday with my kid and my dad. We're kind of having like a whole boys thing.
Nice.
And yeah, we figured my dad's like, it's Papa's first time taking his grandson to the movies, which he's really excited about.
Yeah.
Miles is excited just because there are cars in it. And
Right.
then I'm so excited because I've heard nothing but good things. And every time they show like the first trailer I saw, I was like, oh, it's like a video game coming out.
Right.
Like honestly thought that, or like a Netflix series or like something. And then when I saw it was a movie, I was like, okay, cool. It'll be like a streaming movie on Netflix or something. I'll watch it with the kid, like half pay attention to it. Then when I found out it was a movie, I took it very much more seriously.
Yeah.
And now I've heard nothing but good things from everyone who's seen it. I have a couple of friends now who are like diehard Transformer people,
Mm-hmm.
and they who like pretty much distaste everything that isn't like G1 and like part of the original continuity.
Yeah.
And they saw it and was like, it's really good. And so
Yeah.
it's basically that alone sold it for me.
Yeah.
So like if I have Transformer purists saying the movie's good,
Yeah.
it's gonna be good.
Yep. And
So
one of my other hesitations was because this is from the preview again, the trailer. Optimus and Megatron, they're friends before all, the stuff that goes down that makes them who they become and everything. And I was thinking, it's how are they going to make this make sense? But it 100% makes sense. Yeah, you're going to love it. I can't wait till you see it so that we can really talk about it.
who does the voice for Megatron?
Brian Tyree Henry is the actor
Brian
playing
Tyree Henry. I don't think I even
Megatron.
know that character.
He's Miles Morales' dad on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It's that actor's voice.
Oh,
It's
okay.
pretty good voice.
You liked it?
Oh my gosh, I loved it so much.
Was Starscream in it?
Spoilers.
I don't like. I mean, I don't care.
I'm you know what? Since the movie's not officially out yet, to answer that question along with several other possible appearances is a major spoiler towards the end of the
Okay.
movie. So
Okay. All right. Fair. All
um
right. Well, Autobots roll out.
yeah, it's so good, guys. Go see it. It's oh man, it's so good. I truly want to see it again. And
Did you cry?
I didn't cry. I didn't, full blown well up with tears, but there were a couple really moving parts. And yeah, it's very, very good. And the humor, oh my gosh, it's so funny. The funny parts are funny and they're not trying too hard. And Bumblebee is voiced by Keegan Michael Key.
Yeah.
And Bumblebee is so funny in this movie.
Really?
Yeah. I'll just leave it at that. I can't wait till you see it so we can talk about it. But yeah, it's really good.
That's amazing.
Well, hey, over with the news. Let's start with Marvel. This week, as of us recording this, tonight, we can go watch Agatha All Along.
Long.
The 2-episode premiere comes out tonight.
How
And
excited are you? Because I am so excited.
I'm so excited. I hope we get some stuff that by the end of the series, I'm not expecting it on week 1, but I hope we learn a little bit more about Vision, and maybe we're finally going to see Mephisto, who knows? But I am so pumped to watch it. You guys listening, you can go watch it by now. But yeah, I cannot wait to watch it.
Any predictions?
Uh, Real quick, I'll make a statement saying Elizabeth Olsen, who is Scarlet Witch, she said in an interview this past week that for all intents and purposes, the main MCU Scarlet Witch is 100% dead. And I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. But I wonder, we got a multiverse. I wonder if this show is going to delve into the multiverse, if we're going to see her or a version of her or what. I don't know. I
Like
just,
a non-suckier version of her?
maybe.
What if we get like a more heroic version of Scarlet Witch, like by the end of it?
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
It would be cool.
Ooh, or a version where, straight up Magneto's her dad. That'd be kind of cool to bring him into.
Yeah, I still want to know how they're going to go about with that if they decide to keep the MCU the same MCU.
Yeah, maybe after Secret Wars, it'll be a whole new MCU.
It keeps looking that way, doesn't it?
Yeah. But another thing I read about this series is that it's probably the scariest product that Marvel has made so far. So
That's not a surprise.
yeah, sounds like it's
It's
going to
I
be
mean
spooky
it's
for spooky season.
yeah, and it's a Marvel Knights character for the most part.
Yep, but I'm very much looking forward to seeing it. Can't wait to talk about it next week. Did you know from that trailer we got, the final trailer we got for Venom 3 last week, that Null is showing up in this movie? I think we talked about it.
We talked about it, so I rewatched the trailer. For some reason, I don't think I watched that final trailer
Yeah,
because I sat and watched it and was like, yeah, Null's in this.
right?
And like the last time we talked, I was like, I don't remember that. So like, I'm very much thinking that, yeah, that's the case.
So it's funny, the creators of that character from the comics, Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman, they both came out after that trailer came out and they're like, oh, cool, our creation is in this movie. We had no idea. No one consulted us. Can we get paid? Like,
And to that, I say this. You sign the contract. It's the same contract that all Marvel people sign. That's not your character anymore.
yeah, once it leaves the pen onto the paper, that becomes
It's
property of Marvel.
unfortunate. Yeah, and unfortunately, this is something that keeps happening over and over again through all of comics being a thing, to the point where at this, I want to feel bad for him, but at the same time, I'm like, really? Remember the 90s? Remember when all those people left and they made Image Comics, and you remember why?
Yeah.
Like, this isn't unprecedented here. This is, I mean, the non-consultation part, hey, what would you feel like if this character did this or did that? I get that. I'd be a little bit meh about that. But at the same time, I would also be like, well, I mean, I signed. It's kind of my fault. And the thing is, too, is if you look at Donnie, he also works for Image now, too. And
Okay.
he's doing Spawn stuff. So doesn't that sound like an argument that someone else who owns Image or part of Image has been making over and over and over again, and all of a sudden this guy who now works for that guy is also making that same argument? Like, this is just me putting dots together in a very Charlie Day conspiratorial kind of thing. But to me, it seems, and I like Donnie's work a lot, actually. I think he's a really good writer and everything, but it just seems a little dumb to me. And then once again, Marvel has to do the whole, well, this is we're a company, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, is it right? No. But did you sign the paper? Yes.
Right. Yeah. Well, some other Venom news. Have you seen the rumor floating around right now that by the end of Venom 3, Eddie Brock and Venom, and possibly even Null, will somehow wind up in the MCU, the greater MCU, and they're going to be a big part of Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland? That's just a big rumor that's floating around right now. And it sounds like if this rumor's true, the post-credits scene of this movie will show us how and why that's going to happen.
Will be bonkers.
That's how the rumor sounds. Yeah.
That's because that's what I'm hearing. I'm all for that.
I think I would be too. Finally getting to see
And, I,
that version of Venom go up against Spider-Man or team up or whatever they wind up doing with it. Get the whole
and
black
I'd
suit
also,
saga.
yeah, I'd also like to see, there's a few things I'd like to see from the Black Suit Saga.
What if
I
this
would
is
like
how
to
we get the black suit in the Secret Wars?
Yeah. Well, we already have symbiote in the MCU.
That's true.
So, like, if the Venom doesn't show up and we still have it there.
Yeah.
So, like, they kind of gave themselves a loophole there, which I'm guessing that's what they did. hid so that before they're doing contracts, so that if any contracts fall through, at least they have the symbiote in the universe and they can use it, yada yada.
Yeah.
But these are the three things that I want from a black suit. I want a symbiote story that Venom doesn't even appear into it until the end.
Yep.
Because I want him to have enough time with the suit for him to kind of get weird with it, but also not cringy.
Yes. You don't want
And then
the emo version walking down the street, snapping his fingers,
that, and
smacking butts.
you know that Sam Raimi put that in there because he didn't even want the Venom stuff in the movie to begin with.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, I don't know if you know this. So it was just supposed to be a Sandman and the Goblin. That was it.
Okay.
And it was supposed to finish out that. And that's why the Sandman stuff's so well done. The Venom stuff was all studio. So he goes like, okay, you like Venom, I'm going to do this really bad version of it. And it's like, and it is. It's really, really bad. But yeah. Second thing I want from a black suit, a Spider-Man trilogy or series, I want him to go to Reed Richards, the Fantastic Four, to get the suit analyzed.
Ooh,
Because that's a
yes.
very important part of all of this that we've never seen. And we will have those characters.
That is true. We will have those
And
guys.
for Reed Richards to go to do the thing like Spider-Man, it isn't a suit, it's alive.
Right?
You know, that whole sentence. They even did that in the 90s cartoon.
Right?
And in the Maximum Carnage and the Venom stuff in the comics, that's who he goes to figure that out as well.
Yep.
So I think it'd be really cool. Third thing is I want him, after he gets rid of the alien suit, to still have a black suit for a while.
That would be cool.
Because in the comics, he had that black suit forever.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a few episodes. Like, it was a long, what was it, years, right?
Yeah.
Before he switched back to the red and blue, because of, it was like, hey, they made a big deal about him going back to the red and blue. So I think that would be really cool. And then while we have that suit, then we can have the Kraven's Last Hunt thing, because it's like one of the greatest Spider-Man stories ever, and like one of the only good Kraven stories.
Right?
So that's what I want.
That would be awesome. All good things. Another Spider-Man bit of news, which this one kind of sucks a little bit, a lot of it. It sounds like Spider-Man 4 is going to have a 2026 release, and they're pushing back Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse again, and we might not even get that until 2027. And that
So I saw that.
is a long way away.
Do you think those two things are one and the same thing, or do you think they're two separate issues?
I think that's two separate issues, but I saw them in the same write-up, I guess, because it was all about Spider-Man stuff. And man, that sucks. I want to see that movie now.
Yeah.
But what if they've got a lot brewing and they might even somehow, with their magical powers, mix that into the multiverse stuff that we're seeing? And maybe they don't want to release stuff yet until they flesh all that out. But again, who knows? I just know I want it.
All I know is that I feel like if they keep doing it, and if they are the same, we're going to get a live action Miles, right?
Oh, I hope so.
That's what that's hinting at, if they are connected.
Yep. And if they do that or not, I still want a live action Miles either way.
Yeah.
Speaking of the multiverse, I just saw a thing that said reportedly Henry Cavill is currently in talks for his Wolverine to show back up in the MCU at some point. And if that's true, that'd be kind of crazy.
Do you think he will be Wolverine?
Wouldn't that be nuts? In a
Would
good
it?
way.
Would it be that nuts?
I don't think it'd be nuts. I just mean like crazy, kind of cool.
No, it would be crazy cool. I would want them to do a little CGI on his body, though.
Make him a little short king.
Just a little shorter would, just a little, maybe like, 5 inches, 6 inches, 2 feet. I don't know. It's just, there's a lot of heights there.
Yeah.
There's a reason they picked him for Superman.
Right?
I don't know. I feel like at this point he's always going to be Superman.
Yeah.
That even when I've seen him as like The Witcher, I still looked at him and I was like, oh, look at Superman.
Right.
So it's like Hugh Jackman and Wolverine. Like at this point, even Hugh Jackman in any other movie, I'm just waiting for him to get irritated and pop the claws.
Right?
Like, I think Les Miserables would have been a lot more bloodier.
If he had the claws. Look
Or
down.
I'll show you the greatest omen, snick, snick.
Yeah. Whoa, snick, snick. I would totally watch that, I'm not gonna lie. The greatest X-Men.
Oh my.
Well, in other news, so we talked about the upcoming Agatha Harkness show already. Well, the upcoming Vision show, which I hope we see Vision in the Agatha, but we'll know about that sooner than later, I guess. But the upcoming Vision show, it sounds like we're getting James Spader back as Ultron in this series. We're also going to get some West Coast Avengers, and they're going to be adapting a lot of Tom King's version of the Vision comic series. But the thing I thought was crazy was Ultron's going to be in it, and I wonder what they're going to do with him in that series.
Well, comic accurately, they've never really killed Ultron
Right, that's true.
because he, lo and behold, will always transfer his consciousness into the most nearby electronic item that can hold it.
Yep.
I mean, everything from Ultron's own head rolling away to, a vacuum cleaner version of Ultron. It's not unprecedented, one. Also, there is a little bit of father-son weirdness there.
That is true.
So as Vision goes to find himself, quote unquote, there might be a couple of daddy issues he feels like he needs to resolve. So if he maybe accidentally reactivates Ultron but isn't able to unactivate him afterwards, we might be getting the bad guy right there.
Okay, that makes perfect sense, and now that's what I hope happens.
I mean, I can't even tell you how many Avengers books I've read with Ultron in them
Hmm.
as a bad guy, or several Ultrons. I think like the last Ultron story I read, though, it's been a while, was that Age of Ultron,
Yeah.
where they go back in time and don't they like, yeah, I don't, to be honest, I don't really remember that book a lot. All I remember is at the end, Angel from the Spawn universe is introduced into the Marvel universe.
Yep.
And I remember that happening. That's really all I remember about that. Doesn't Galactus like rip through into another dimension and during that thing, and that's what the Ultimate Universe thing, how that started to break down?
I think so. That sounds familiar.
And they had that like that thing, Hunger. It was called Hunger or Cataclysm or something like that.
Yeah. Well, let's see. The next thing I have on the list here with Marvel. So, Marvel writer Alex Perez recently said in an interview that he is fairly certain that there is an Alpha Flight project coming to the MCU, and I think that'll be cool too.
Oh, that's so exciting!
Yeah, I
Bring on the D-list weirdo characters.
I know, and I hope it's more official than like, oh, cool, we're doing Secret Wars. Look who we see over here in this corner. Like, I hope it's more than that. But yeah, I want to see an Alpha Flight project.
Yeah, Alpha Flight project. Heck yes.
Now, the other day I sent you a meme. This has nothing to do with truth, nothing to do with rumors. It was just a meme. But it showed Miles Teller, who played a version of Reed Richards in the Fan Forstic
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, yeah.
And this meme someone created said, what if Miles Teller's Reed Richards played the Maker in the MCU, maybe in the Secret War stuff or whatever? And the Maker is like a Reed Richards from a universe that failed and he becomes a villain. Wouldn't that be crazy if that ever happened?
I would love that.
Me too.
I actually really enjoy Miles Teller as an actor, very much so. So I think that would be actually super, super just genius.
Yeah.
Also, like really good redemption for any of those Fan Four Stick guys, because I think they got a raw end of that deal,
Yeah.
honestly. I
That's
mean,
true.
from what I understand, there was so much studio problems during all that crap. I just feel bad for them.
Yeah. Yeah. When I saw that meme, I immediately sent it to you and said, man, wouldn't this be cool? And I was bummed out that it was just from a meme, not rumors and stuff floating out around there right now. But yeah, now I want to see the
Yeah,
Maker and I want it to be that Reed Richards.
and if you guys haven't read anything about the Maker, you should, because that character is amazing.
Yes.
Like, as a villain, Reed Richards never would have thought it, but it's like the most evil version of Doctor Doom. It really is. Like, when it comes down to it, he's like way smarter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, over with DC this week, just like Agatha All Along comes out this week, The Penguin also comes out this week. And by the time this recording is out there, you guys probably have already seen it. But make sure you tune into Max this week and see what the Penguin series is all about. I can't wait to check it out. It sounds like we're not going to be seeing Batman in it, but one thing they have confirmed is that there is another spin-off of some character that they have not named yet that we're going to get a series just like this Penguin series about. And the rumor right now, this is not confirmed, but the rumor is it's going to be like a whole Harvey Dent series, but we'll see what that is. It's true that something else is coming, but the rumor is that it's Harvey Dent. So anyway, check out Penguin, and we're getting something else at some point too, so that's kind of cool.
You know what I think's weird about this is that we're only getting one more movie, right?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because Matt Reeves came out and said the Batman is going to be a trilogy. So
Okay.
we are going to get, after the Batman 2, we're going to get one more, but there's going to be a few series in between both of them.
Interesting.
Yeah. So even though we're getting a new DCU, he's getting to create his own little corner of the universe over there. And I think that's kind of cool.
I'm interested to see the DCU. I'm surprised that that's still going, considering they're still going to launch like everything and they don't just use it as part of it.
Right? But maybe they've got their own crisis on the horizon and 10 years down the road. That'd be kind of crazy.
That would be kind of crazy. Did that Joker movie come out?
Not yet, but we're, man, a week or 2 or 3 away. We're really close to it.
But for some reason, I had thought it was either this week or next week.
That movie comes out October 4th, so we're getting real close.
Okay, so spooky season
Yep.
for a villain movie. I get it.
One final thing with DC, it sounds like Josh Brolin has officially come out and made it clear that he has passed on being Hal Jordan. So that's one person that's out of the running now. It's not going to be Josh Brolin. I still hope it's Chris Pine from that list that we saw.
Yeah.
Over with Star Wars, there's not a lot of news, but the new Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy came out this past week, and it's 4 episodes, and all 4 of them are out now. They weren't all out at once, but the kids and I have watched the first 2, and it is a lot of fun. If you like those Lego Star Wars movies that come out every now and again, this is a really fun one, and it's really cool how they've literally rebuilt the galaxy. There's this thing called the cornerstone that someone accidentally messes with, and it just completely changes all the history as we know it. And the goal of this series is to fix it back. But we've been seeing things like Darth Jar Jar and all the clone troopers, when they took their helmets off, they all look like Akbar and things like that. It's kind of crazy and goofy, but we're super enjoying it. It is hilarious and it's funny and it's a lot of fun. You should definitely check it out.
That's awesome. I definitely will, because I'm in the middle of the Skywalker saga,
Uh-huh.
the newer one where it's like a third person instead of like you see the whole screen.
Yeah.
And I'm on free play now, and I'm having a blast. I forgot how much better those games are on free play than they are when you're just playing through it. And I've had a couple of them that have actually been fairly tricky, and I've been like, what in the heck? This is a Lego game. So
Right.
I had to look up some stuff which I wasn't expecting, which is actually making the game even more fun. So I'm excited to watch this.
Yeah. Definitely check it out. And the last thing I have really on the list here for this week is, if you guys remember the Constantine movie from many years back starring Keanu Reeves as Constantine. Well, the script for Constantine 2 with Keanu Reeves is finally complete. So that thing's coming at some point, and I'm actually pretty excited about it.
Yeah. What do you think?
You know, I think for what it was, I enjoyed the first one. I feel like at this point, all these years later, they're going to know what they're doing with that whole universe. And I feel like it's going to wind up being pretty cool. At least that's what I hope. My fingers are crossed.
Okay. Well, cool.
And locally, keep your eyes peeled for BadCon coming up in Kansas City on October 12th. But yeah, that's about it for this week. So as for us here at the Taylorverse, I've been Billy Taylor.
And I am Taylor Oxner.
And come back next week, guys. Same Taylor time, same Taylor channel.
Bye.
Bye.